Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is all about arrows and helping you get the right ones for your bow. First thing you want to make sure you know is your draw weight, and this is something I touched on in my last video, but draw weight is crucial because that's what will determine what spine your arrows need to be. And spine just refers to how much an arrow will flex or bend, and is usually measured in the hundreds. So like 300, 400, 500, 600. And the higher that spine number, the more flex an arrow will have. So for instance, I shoot about 35 pounds and my arrows are spined at 500. So if I were to shoot, say, a 6 or 700 spine arrow, it's going to be way too flexible and will likely just fishtail downrange and probably won't hit anything. Now, different manufacturers for carbon fiber arrows have different spine charts. So if you're unsure, you can always go to a company's website and usually they'll have a spine chart. So if you're buying direct from them, do that just to make sure that you are getting the right ones. If you're looking at, say, wooden arrows, they're usually spined a little bit differently and a little bit easier to understand, right? So wooden arrows are usually just spined by the poundage. So they'll just be listed as like a 30 to 40 pound or 50 to 60 pound. So as long as you know your draw weight, you can just buy wooden arrows based on the poundage, right? Pros and cons of different materials. Carbon fiber tends to be more precise and forgiving. Carbon fiber will straighten out a little bit faster after you shoot, whereas wood tends to take a little bit longer for the arrow to straighten out as it goes downrange. Carbon fiber does tend to be more expensive, but you do have more customization options, right? So for instance, if you lose or damage an arrowhead, you can usually just, oh, I glued that one in, so whoops. Don't glue in arrowheads. If you if you damage or lose an arrowhead, you can just take it off. Well, not if you've lost it. You can just replace it with another one, right? And these are usually pretty cheap. I've gotten, last time I bought about 100 for like $20, and I've gone through a fair bit of them. Same thing with your nocks, the point that goes against the string. I've had these fall out, chip on me. I can just pop a new one in, pretty cheap as well, right? But if you're dealing with wooden arrows, arrowheads and nocks tend to be glued on. So if those break off, chances are it's taking some of the arrow shaft with it. And even if you're able to trim that down, it may end up being too short to be usable anymore. So something to keep in mind. Wooden arrows do tend to be cheaper though. So, especially in the beginning, it's likely you're going to lose or break a few arrows. So it's a lot less painful breaking some wooden arrows than it is carbon fiber arrows. Oh, one thing you want to look out for when you're looking at carbon fiber arrows is something known as the arrow cresting. What this is a stamp from the manufacturer, and it will tell you who made the arrow, as well as the spine of the arrow shaft and the arrow weight, the weight of the arrow shaft. And that will be measured in grains per inch. And it just refers to the arrow shaft itself. It doesn't include the head, of course, because those can be changed at different weights. So for instance, this is a 30-inch arrow shaft, and its grains per inch is 7.4. That comes to about 222, and then the arrowhead is 125 grains. So this arrow overall is about almost 350 grains of weight, and the spine is 500. So I don't know if you can see that. If not, I will put a picture up on screen for you. Now, when you're shopping online, sometimes what you'll find, especially with cheaper arrows, is they won't have a cresting or any marker. Avoid arrows like this. This was advertised to be a spine of 500, so it should be, or it should have the same flex as the other ones. But so this is the cheaper arrow, and then this is the more expensive arrow. And this one I know for a fact is a proper spine of 500, whereas this one definitely is not. This one is also a carbon fiber arrow, but it is wrapped in a vinyl wood finish, but still carbon fiber. That's why it has an arrow cresting on it. So that's something you want to look out for when you're dealing with carbon arrows. Now, if you're buying from an outdoor sporting store or an archery shop, you usually won't find arrows, or at least you won't find carbon arrows that are unmarked. Wooden arrows generally won't have anything written on them, so do keep that in mind. But yeah, stay away from unmarked arrows. They were significantly less expensive than the other ones, but I mean, they weren't worth any of the money I spent on them. So the other thing that you want to consider is your draw length. There's a few ways to determine your draw length. One of the most common is you'll need a string or measuring tape or something. You want to stand with your back against the wall and your palms facing forward. And you want to measure from one end of your fingertips all the way to the other. And then you take that number and you divide it by 2.5, and that should give you your draw length. And if you guys are finding any of this helpful, go ahead and click that little red box underneath or give me a thumbs up. That helps let me know that I'm doing something right. And if you guys had any questions or I missed anything, I'm sure I did, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'll do my best to get back to you guys, and I will see you in the next one.